Someone give the report on the Terran Alliance and tell me if it is worth integrating the humans into our workforce. The Emperor of the MX Thali Star Empire called out, "Permission to speak freely without reprisal, Your Majesty." His Chief of Intelligence, Prominence Executive Chuck, immediately responded, "Permission granted." The Emperor replied, "Thank you, Your Majesty. Forgive me, but are you out of your mind? The humans are crazy, insane, and everything else. Declaring war on them, let alone enslaving them, is a recipe for disaster." Chuck responded, "Explain." The Emperor said over the roars of outrage of his boot kissers, "True, they may seem to be a united people, but in truth they are as factional as the supporters of one of their team sport games. Unless there is something to unite them, say someone declaring war on them in order to enslave them. In that case, may the gods help us. They have no single political structure. It appears as though their people are governed by dozens of different groups, each representing a different political structure. Some allow the people full control of their territories. Others allow their people to vote for what decision is taken by the politicians. There are a few totalitarian parties that look like monarchies instead of anything else. They may be, in terms of FTL capability, the youngest species within the galaxy, but each and every one of their ships is outfitted with their mass-produced FTL drives. There is no way that each and every one of them will ever be caught. They can, and will, simply disperse in all directions. Their military is more divided than the sand at the coast, each division different from the next. No sense of unity to be found between the individual units. Gods, even their weapons differ, some units using energy-based weapon systems, the next wields archaic kinetic weaponry. The humans cannot even decide on a single military doctrine to employ during times of war. I mean, during their first contact war where the Kniners tried to enslave them, that short 3-year conflict, the humans employed on average 20-30 different strategies each month, each distinctly different from the other. This included everything from so-called Zerg rushing, where the humans attacked in one big massive frontal charge, to blitzkrieg, where the humans focused a strong assault on a narrow point, generally where the Kniner lines were the weakest, breaking through and causing massive havoc behind enemy lines. At least, that is what I understood from the reports our observers sent back. Their economy, granted, is far superior to ours in structure and flexibility, whilst our output is far greater than theirs. They can, and have on numerous occasions in their history, convert entire sectors of their economy into war production facilities, and once the war was over, they simply undid the changes they did and get on with life. Chuck said, "So, what is the problem then?" One of the Emperor's bootlickers asked, no doubt trying to earn favor by asking the big question. Joke's on him. Chuck was not yet finished with his report, and the Emperor is an old friend of his. As I have stated before, if threatened, the humans will unite into a singular entity and act as though controlled by a hive mind. During my visit to the Sol system, from where they originate, I have discovered that humans are Deathworlders. Whilst at first glance their planet, Earth or Terra, depending on which person you ask in any one of their hundreds of languages, another thing that is infuriating about humans, can be classified as a Class 2 agricultural world, were it not for the abundance of water on the planet. That is until you land on the surface. Global average temperatures along the equator average at well over 5 degrees higher than that of our own homeworld. Bone-dry deserts ready to evaporate all the fluid in your body in what feels like seconds. Sweltering rainforests and arid ice/snow sheets where the moisture content in the air is even lower than that of a blasted desert. Chuck continued, silently smiling at the looks of horror on the faces of the counselors. How can any species survive in such an abysmal planet? Another bootlicker asked. The humans don't just survive in that heck, they evolved in it and revel in its infernal climates. Chuck began speaking again. And not only that, that planet has the widest variety of ecosystems I have personally ever seen on a singular planet. And the humans, they have armed forces dedicated to fighting in each and every one of them. And that is not even the worst part. A shiver seemed to go through the chamber at those words. Please, explain. The Emperor requested, looking a bit pale. He knew that I was not one to lie, especially in front of my friends. The humans have something called .an Internet. It is a collective database of seemingly immeasurable size, most of which is accessible to each and every member of the human race. This includes some rather vivid images that, even now, 15 years later, I still try to forget. And gods above, the horrors of adverts on the internet. Thank the gods a young teenager taught me the uses of ad blockers. Anyway, I am getting sidetracked. The humans have something they call MMO games. Except those things weren't games. The humans are training their youth to become savage soldiers with their milsim, short for military simulation, games. Commanders through the use of real-time strategy, games, and mass murderers with hack-and-slash games, all of which include achievements whereby the players need to slaughter/kill/defeat massive amounts of their opponents, some of whom are modeled after members of the galactic community. I am starting to believe that the term crazy may not be an apt description for humanity. The Minister of War commented. It gets worse. As you know, ethanol alcohol is a highly poisonous substance to most individuals in the galactic community. The humans consume that stuff on a near-daily basis. Heck, the individuals in nations called Ireland, Russia, the United States of America, Germany, Australia, and many others are able to drink the ferocious Thorktug under the table without trying, then continue on challenging the others throughout the night. Oh, that reminds me. If you encounter an intoxicated human during your travels and she smells of alcohol, it would be highly advisable to run. For your own sanity if you are lucky, for your life if you aren't. Chuck explained. Their food is exceptional, however. Amongst the many souvenirs I brought back from my visit, I am proudly in possession of numerous large tomes of knowledge revolving solely around their culinary arts. Just then a messenger burst into the room. Your Majesty, forgive the intrusion. The soldier called out, holding the seal of the intelligence department high in the air. Report, soldier. The Emperor commanded. The Haxus Dominion has declared war on the humans. The soldier spoke up. They wish to enslave them. Chuck released a sigh. I bet my collection of books on human culinary arts that the humans will win the war in a year. I'll take that bet, the Minister of War said. I'll bet my personal heavy cruiser that the Dominion will destroy the Terran Alliance in at least 5 years. Did I forget to mention, the humans can play dirty? I wondered out loud. The next week, reports came in of the human victory during the first battle at the edge of Sol, and the subsequent nuking of several Haxus military outposts that forced the Haxus leadership to enter peace talks with the humans after they threatened several other worlds with their dreaded weapons. Did you expect this to happen? The Emperor asked from his seat, next to Chuck on the observation deck of the latter's new personal cruiser. I didn't even know that the humans had fission bombs at their disposal. I believe they had dismantled each and every one of them some 200 years ago. Chuck responded. What did you expect the humans to do then? The Empress Consort, my older sister, asked. Honestly, I expected the Terran Navy to rout the Haxus fleet, then launch an all-out invasion deep into Haxus territory, culminating in an invasion of Haxus Prime itself. Chuck said. Oh, come on. Surely they are not that stupid. The Emperor said. I did say that they were crazy, didn't I? Chuck said. Oh wait, the Minister of War was correct. Crazy is by far too polite a term for what humans really are.